I was excited from the moment I started reading it because it was really truly like the funniest script I had ever read.
A wall of madness.
Yeah, your wall of
Yeah.
favorite things. I'm with you on all these things. These are great
Thank
things.
you. Thank you. And I have to say, underrated is the abominable snow monster.
Right.
I'm a fan.
I am too.
And honestly, Darcy, I'm a huge fan of yours. Quiet, A Good Place is seriously one of my favorite shows.
Oh, awesome.
It is an
That's
absolute. Sorry, go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say that's so nice. You go ahead.
Thank you. Honestly, it's a joy to speak with you, and The Gutter is hilarious. It is so funny from start to finish. What excited you most to be a part of the film?
Thanks for saying that. That's so nice. I love The Good Place too, by the way. I, this was like I was excited from the moment I started reading it because it was really truly like the funniest script I had ever read. It's so rare to read a script and laugh out loud. Usually you're just sort of like thinking in your head, oh, that's funny. Oh, that'll work. That's funny. That's funny. That's not funny. That's funny. But my husband had to come check on me because I was like howling. I just loved the script and I really could see it and I like got it and I couldn't believe some of the jokes and I couldn't believe some of the ideas and characters that Yasser had created, but I really could get it. And I had a meeting with Isaiah and Yasser, the Lester brothers, and we just sort of fell in love at first sight and really clicked. We just sort of, I don't know what it was. It was like we had known each other forever. So it was very exciting, even just to begin it. I was thrilled to get to play this character and work on such an insane script. I mean, an insane script. Like as funny as I'm saying it is insane. It was, as I said to my agent, this is the most batshit insane script I've ever read. I have to meet them. Um, and then it was just like a joy. It was getting to work with the Lester brothers who are family and they had never made a movie together before. So it was their first movie together and seeing how well they worked together and what a like wonderful crew they had pulled together and all the different departments really understood what the humor was and what we were going for. It just was like every piece of it worked and the vibe on set was just incredible. It was like very warm and welcoming and um no ego and no judgment. So, which makes for good comedy, I think. I think it's the only thing that you can do comedy, that only environment where you could do comedy, um, in a way that feels free and fun and fulfilling. So it was just a blast. And, it's a tiny little indie movie that is now going to be in movie theaters, and I cannot believe it. It's so exciting.
It's wild you would, I mean, that it is a tiny little indie movie with an insane cast
Insane cast. The cast
across
is
the
insane.
board.
I mean,
Yeah.
like your big roles, like your Susan Sarandons, but then down to people that would do one little scene, like Adam Brody or Adam Pally or Jay Ellis, like they would come in for one scene. And that's a testament, of course, to the Lester brothers who are so beloved in the comedy world. But it really is like the most stacked cast.
It's off the wall, and the movie
Yeah.
is unhinged in and of itself.
Yes.
Honestly, it reminded me of like the classics of like a Happy Gilmore type thing, of just that just bonkers humor with great cameos.
Oh,
What
I
was
love
it?
that.
Sorry, go ahead. What?
No, I love that. I mean, I felt the same way when I read it. I was like, this reminds me of the movies I would see as a teenager where I would see it 100 times in the movie theater and I'd know every line and I would quote them with my friends. And I probably still quote them to this day, not really even realizing where they came from. Like it really had that feeling to me. And I haven't, comedy moves in all different directions and we haven't moved in this direction in so long. And I think we miss it, like I miss a dumb, funny, silly, raunchy, unhinged, batshit crazy comedy. And this is all that.
Well, what was it like working with Shameik? Because I mean, the two of you have great chemistry, and you might be twins, as we find out early on. What was it like working with him and building that team dynamic?
Yeah, Shameik is so great. We had worked together for a couple days on a movie in Canada, in Toronto. years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So we knew each other just a little bit and we had gotten along really well on that set. But this movie was like fast and furious and no rehearsal and no, it was like ready, set, go. So we didn't have a lot of time to warm up. It was really just like the day that we shot the stuff that you're talking about, the twins, are you my twin, the handshake, all that stuff was our first day, our first scene, really. So it was like, you know, trusting. I think there's something to like trusting the fact that we both wanted to do this movie says something in and of itself. And I'm like, if you get Isaiah and Yasser's sense of humor and I get it, then I'm already on board with you. So it was a lot about trust and it was a lot about like, I got your back, you got my back. I will make you look like a king, you make me look like a king. Like, let's just do this together. And like I said, like no ego, just support, which is again the only way to do comedy. And there's so many ways to do comedy, but the freest way to do comedy is just like if you fall on your face, I will not judge you for it. Try a different thing and see if that works. And that's just what this set felt like. It was very like a lot of freedom to just try, which is, the way to do it.
Was
So
I'm sorry.
it was easy with Shamik. We just decided on day one, like we're gonna go for it. It had a feeling of like, let's go for it.
Was there a sense of improv? I know you said the script is hilarious and the scenes of that, but there's so much play between the two of you. I wondered if that was natural or was from the page.
A little bit of both. I mean, it really is like you'd be surprised what was on the page that maybe seems like improv, which is one of the things I loved so much about the script is how lived in it felt. But definitely, the Lester brothers let us play around, especially if it was like the last take of the run or whatever, try something new. And sometimes that's where you get some really fun, wild stuff. And sometimes that's when you can go off the rails and, have a hard time finding your way back. But the Lester brothers had sort of a best funniest thing wins rule with it's like if it's not in the script, but it makes us laugh more, then that's what we're doing. And that has to do with, not having ego and just sort of being open. So there was a lot of play. But you had to get the lines for sure. We had to like get the lines and then spin off of that.
Absolutely. And your character is so great. Skunk is wonderful. I was wondering what you appreciate most about her and how you connect with her.
Skunk is, thank you so much. Skunk is like, to play like a drunk slob or whatever is like the fear is that it's one dimensional or that there's nothing like under that. But I felt like it was in the script that she was like a deep person and had real feelings and had been through some pain and wasn't exactly where she meant to be in life and was just sort of stuck in a in a bad not spiral but where she's just sort of stuck on a loop and something about Walt coming into her life really like shakes her life up and it was a joy to play like a character that gets to discover something and sort of like find a new reason to live and but also with a secret and also I love a movie where there's like the motivation changes and she's in it for one reason and then it becomes something else and that is so fun to play. And yeah, it was a pleasure, a pleasure. I miss Skunk.
Honestly, she's great, and her interactions with Susan are amazing. But I mean, Susan's amazing in everything she does.
I
But
can't even get into Susan. She's so incredible. I mean, as a person, but I mean, watching her work on set is like a master class. And in acting, in the smallest little, like she just is, she's a damn icon. She's a star. And it's so fun to watch her and get to be in scenes one-on-one with her, to get to watch her through a monitor and see the Susan Sarandon that I know and love, and then look up and she's right there in front of me. It's really surreal. And she's really, she's just wonderful. And I'm so impressed that such a huge star would take a risk on such an insane, tiny little comedy and, raise it up to her level. It was really, great for the movie and great for all of us.
she really does. And I mean, like I said, your interactions are phenomenal. And I had, I guess, a question I had
Yeah.
for you too, in relation to the way the story unfolds. There's a really complicated relationship between the two of them.
Yeah,
And I was wondering in your mind, what can be so difficult about complicated relationships like that with parents or in our lives?
I know. I mean, maybe the most complicated relationship you can have is with a parent. And as much as, without giving, I guess, too much away, like, maybe this won't, I'll try not to give anything away, but you can think you feel a certain way about a parent, but the truth is there's just like a small, sad child inside of you that knows that parent from your whole entire life. And I think we really see that with Skunk and Linda's relationship is that Skunk feels like she knows how she feels about her mom. But the truth is when it's just one-on-one, she just wants approval and she just wants love. And that can be like so painful and, such a hard thing to wrap your head around. And Susan, of course, being like a brilliant actress, made it really easy and real. Whereas I think another actress in that role could have she just brought it to she like raised the level. She's really something.
She absolutely is. And like I said, the film is just great. Thank you so much
Yay.
for your time.
I'm
Honestly,
so glad you liked it. That makes my day.
I really did. I laughed out loud a couple of times myself. So thank you
Perfect.
so much. Have a great day.
Awesome. Okay, you
You
too.
see.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye bye.